Good evening, everyone. I see a lot of people here already. Matt Rogers, Tina Harper, Marilyn. Thank you for stopping by. So, gonna be in St. Maur in the AM. I promised the kids I was gonna bring them fishing tomorrow morning. We'll see what time they want to get up. I'll be up around 6, 7 anyway. um, but I told them the earlier we go, the better, because as soon as the sun comes out, it's a little bit harder to catch fish. So if we could go around 6 a.m., which I doubt with teenagers, that'd be the perfect time to go. But we'll see. We might do a little bit of fishing in the morning and then go a little bit further after supper. We'll see how that goes. Hello, Jennifer. I have a question for you after. Karen, I think it's the first time I see you on my live stream. Well, maybe not. I've seen you on Annie's live streams often. I just had a big thunderstorm and lots of rain here. We need rain here, not that because it's we've had rain lately, but since Tuesday we've had this heat wave, which is everything is dry now. Hope it's not coming here tomorrow. Still have some things to plant. I treated myself today, and I will get to that in a few minutes. Hope your garden made it through the heat. Yeah. Problem is, I had to go down to Moncton yesterday for a minor, I say surgery, but it's mostly a procedure. I had to get a wisdom tooth removed, and anxiety and all that kind of stuff. I just can't do it if I'm awake. One of the problem I have with that is now when you go to the dentist, they put this rubber thing because they don't want stuff falling in your throat, and they're asking you to breathe through your nose. I can't. I get about 30% air going through my nose. That's it. So if they block the airway through my mouth, I can't breathe. So they have to put me under. And first time I did that, it was done here in Campbellton. It was like a full surgery. They had to intubate me and everything, because when you have surgery, if they have to give you propofol, they have to intubate you. But yesterday was the dentists have their own nurse there. I mean, it's pretty cool because we don't have that up here. We're in a small place. So if the dentist wants to do a little surgery like that, he has to use the hospital with the staff that's there. But in Moncton, they have their own clinic, they have their own nurses, and they do everything there on their own. And I told them, I said, I don't want to feel a thing. I don't want to know what's going on. And they're like, don't worry, we'll get that done, and you won't feel a thing. You won't remember a thing. I said, all right. So they give me Versed, and I know that they were playing in my mouth, and I told them it hurts. It hurts. They're like, don't worry, you won't feel a thing. It hurts now. So I'm guessing they probably lifted the dose a little bit because I woke up and it was done. But I remember when I was there, they were doing something and it was painful. And after I woke up, I was fine. It didn't take too long. Well, it was just a minor thing. They removed a wisdom tooth. So, hello, Jotham. Thanks so much for being here. Did you guys get the heat wave as well? Way out in the eastern Canada. I had all my wisdom teeth pulled out by a special surgeon and knocked out because they had to break the teeth to get them out. That sucks. The reason I had to get rid of it was because it was under there was skin on top of it, so that I couldn't reach it with my toothbrush. You sound good. Well, like I said, it's not that bad. It's still painful on that side a little bit, but I go on Tylenol and Advil. The surgeon gave me a prescription for morphine, but I don't know if I'm gonna go get it. If I do, um, it's not gonna be for my mouth. I'm gonna put it aside in case I come up with kidney stones again or something like that. Although the prescription is only for 8 tabs, so I can't really get hooked to it, and there shouldn't be any danger. I'm not so wisdom anymore. I still have some wisdom. 43 with Humidex. Yesterday was not yesterday. Wednesday was the warmest I've ever seen. When I got in my Jeep, it showed as 40 Celsius, and that's straight up temperature. It's not feels like it was 40. Feels like 45. That was crazy. I felt good the whole day, but the week after was horrible pain, but didn't want to have them taken out on 4 different trips. I had all 4 removed. Well, the only small issue I had is because of, they have to leave the wound open. So there is always a little bit of blood, you end up swallowing without even realizing. And I don't want to make anyone get sick there. Just don't worry about that. Close your ears if you don't like that kind of stuff. But by swallowing all that blood, I ended up having a lot of heartburns and acid reflux during the night. So I pretty much had to spend the night sleeping while sitting down instead of laying down. So Jennifer, a small question for you. You were talking the other day about how you forgot to put the rooting hormones on some of the apple trees you tried to hair graft last year. Did you try? Were you trying that at the end of the season, like in the fall, or did you try to do that in the spring? I had stitches in all 4 holes. Hey, that would be Lindsay or Jack. Good Timber Farm. So I didn't watch your new video, but it's something that we need to check, right? I'm guessing there's a story there. Something's happening. So you might want to brag if you want. You can brag a little bit. You're going to be doing a TV show? What's that all about? I wanted to say hi since I rarely notice it live while it's still happening. I'm always at the same time, but I'm guessing you guys must get up very, very early in the morning now, and you go to bed even earlier. It was May last year, but you can air graft anytime. Yeah, if you air graft in the fall and the roots are just starting by the time it gets cold, the roots might not be big enough to even transplant, but it might be just enough that the freeze would kill them. So that's why I was asking. Maybe without the rooting hormones, it might take a little bit more time, and that's probably what happened. Probably died because of the cold. So my mom came with me yesterday. Obviously, I wasn't allowed to drive. We saw a deer on our way there and a moose. And on our way back, I slept the whole way through. So I have no idea if my mom saw any other animals. 3 deer in a week, which is pretty cool. And in about 2 weeks, we'll know if we are going moose hunting or not. Jack here. Yeah, we've got a TV show that we're filming now for Bell 5. Should come out next spring is my guess, mostly following us doing stuff with our sheep, where we'll have a bit of everything we're doing. That's awesome. That's great. And there's a lot more and more people interested in that kind of stuff. You guys are not just homesteaders anymore. You're living off the farm, which is even more impressive. I'm just hoping that one of you can come moose hunting with us. I don't know how things would go if it was Lindsay coming out. I'm guessing Jag you would come too, and you might have to bring Kenzie. I just don't know how we would fit everyone in the trailer. Although maybe we can get my dad in the camp, and you guys can have the bed, and I can sleep on the couch, or my brother might sleep on the couch, and I can sleep on the floor like I did last time. I don't mind. Traveling might be a little bit harder with all of the people, but I don't mind staying at the trailer and cooking if I have to. If you get something or if you kill something, I can go help or whatever. We'll figure something out. It'd be nice. I know Lindsay would. Well, you did a pretty good job when you came last time, Jack, but Lindsay has that particular skills when it comes to camera footage and all that kind of stuff. I'd be curious to see what she could do. I'm sure she would come up with, TV quality kind of stuff. It's been over a year. The whole branches all died. Need the rooting hormone. All the ones died. I try hair graft after snow melts before bugs come out. The ones I did so far, I can see that the gooseberries are doing pretty well. I can actually see the roots in my little root ball. I want to leave it there just a little bit longer to get the roots really well established. Plus, they're full of fruits. So I don't want to cut it now and take a chance of losing all those fruits on the branch. I will harvest all the fruits and wait for fall to transplant it. I promised my brother I was going to give him one. But the thing about the gooseberries, the honeyberries, the currants, you don't need to do the air grafting method. You can you could just take the ball and put it straight up on the branch without needing to cut the bark and the rooting hormones. The branch just needs to touch the soil. If you do that, I mean, it's guaranteed you're going to have some roots. All the currants I have here, as soon as the branch is touching the ground, even the same thing with the gooseberries. I had one of the gooseberry bush that I planted from last year. It was touching the ground and it started rooting right away. I cut it up, planted it somewhere else. There's no berries on it this year. It takes a good 3 or 4 years to really establish a good rooting system. And, you give it a lot of compost. Rabbit manure is a very good one to have. You put that around your trees. We'll see what happens with the tags this year. We sold the show as a comedy, so I now have a license to get goofy like I did in the Moose video from when I... Oh, my. Oh, so I'm going to have to get with Belle to be able to watch your stuff? That's not fair. Put it up on Rogers somehow. If I don't have Bell, how can I watch it? I know Ben Cummings did the same thing, and I still haven't been able to watch his stuff. I was hoping it'd be free at some point somewhere, but didn't find anything yet. I have to do this with my current. Did not do it yet. Time flies. Yeah, time does fly. I was at the community garden this morning, and I noticed that a lot of stuff that I planted is not growing yet. I don't know if it's because it was too dry or simply because there were bad seeds. Usually I start seeing the little carrot sprouts. It's been 2 weeks. You might get a free subscription. Try to get one for your good friend up here. Well, you kind of need to have it. I mean, they have to. And I'm just curious. You don't have to say it if you don't want to. But are they paying you for that kind of stuff? I'm guessing the better it works, the more money you're gonna get out of it, or it's just for fun. So yeah, most of the stuff is not growing. Well, the tomato plants I planted, the peppers, the cucumbers, the onions, those are doing well. But everything I planted from seeds, like, I mean, I have a few zucchinis and squash popping out, but lettuce, carrots, beets, beans are just starting now. Um, it's not really sprouting. A lot of the stuff I planted on Sarah's property last weekend did not come up yet, but some did. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how well it grows. I had some squash planted here as well, and some corn. I had a little area left for corn, although I told myself I wasn't going to plant any corn this year, but I decided to do it anyway. And my squash and zucchinis didn't pop up. I think the birds are eating the seeds right away. I've been struggling a lot with my beans and my cucumbers and my squash here on the property. A lot of the herbs I planted is not growing either. So what I decided to do was I decided to treat myself a little bit today. I went to the local nursery, and you could buy packs of 4, so like one tray with 4 cells for $3.29, and it was buy one get one free. So basically you had 8 cells. Most of those cells had 2 plants in them. They were either really big or smaller with 2 plants in one cell. So I ended up buying like for $30 worth of corn, which gave me a total of like, I don't know, like 75, 80 plants. So hopefully some of them will take, and I'll be able to grow some corn. And I still have a little bit of space to plant some stuff. So I might just have to go and try to loosen the soil and plant a few more things. It's a paid licensing contract. If it goes well, we might be able to leverage it for more for future seasons. So you're just going to get a little bit of money, or not quite sure what that means, but it's still pretty cool. Like, I mean, if you need someone to just appear in the background to look even more silly, you can give me a call. Yo, Darren, hope you and everyone are doing amazing tonight, and the gods have been smiling on you. They've probably been smiling, although I can't really smile back. My jaw is hurting a little bit still. Oh, I wish I could get to stores and buy up as much as I can when there's plant sale. Yeah, I didn't expect to have a good sale there when I got there. It's just I wanted to buy some corn, and the lady told me they were like buy one get one free. I'm like, you mean like one plant? Or no. She's like one tray that are like small trays of 4 cells. You buy one, you get one free. And like I said, most of them had 2 plants in them. So, for $30, give or take, I ended up buying like 7 times 3 plus one more daylily, but I bought 14 because I paid for 14 trays of 4 cells each. So that's already around 72 plants. My brain isn't working. I'm too tired to think, but 14 times 4, that's 56. But most of them had 2 in them, so I'm guessing around 70 plants total. Lots of nitrogen on that corn. Yeah, I'm gonna need to put like maybe rabbit manure or the soil. I had to loosen up the soil around the seeds, around the plants, to be able to put them properly in the soil. I'll have to put some chicken poop or something like that. Great. Yeah, it was a great deal. And I ended up buying, it was same thing, like huge cantaloupe plants for $3. So I'm going to put that. They're still outside. I have to put them in my greenhouse. but I'll put them in my greenhouse either tomorrow morning or after my live tonight. You need to pee on it then. Pee in the soil. Yeah, but I would need to drink a lot to go and pee, be able to pee on each and every one of them. Pays pretty well for sure. Definitely worth the time and effort to put it all together. Awesome. Well, you guys deserve it. You guys are awesome people. If you can't succeed on YouTube, you're gonna succeed somewhere else. And I knew for a fact that it was gonna happen at some point. You do it all, so you deserve it. Yeah, very, very happy for you, and you really deserve it. Yeah, it is awesome to hear. You used to be busy. You're gonna be busy now. So, how many animals did you get lately? You guys have the goats, the sheeps. Did you get cows yet or not yet? You have like 4 or 5 dogs. You have geese, chickens, turkeys, pigs. Am I missing something? You guys have it all. It's pretty cool. I'm getting a dump truck load of manure, $350 delivered. Just now I have the money. Was praying my plants could hold on and wait till it comes. Hope it comes this weekend. Awesome. Yeah, it's true. You have the pigeons as well. Let's hope that it works out, Jennifer. Really hoping for you that you can have a garden this year. Yeah, you had the one cat, but I don't think it was theirs. I'm trying to remember what else you had. A couple of chickens. Trying to remember. But I'm so amazed by the area you're at, the place you have, the land, the whole thing, the community you guys were able to build. The weird bird that was always flying away. That was the pigeons. Or was another one? But when I go deer hunting in your area, I just enjoy being out there foraging. You guys are in the middle of a huge what's it called? What would I call it? Labrador tea patch. Like, it's crazy. I ran out of prepared space for the transplant, so I have to prepare more tomorrow. I always have, in my opinion, not enough space, but then there's always something that's not really growing well. So instead of, I get it this time of year, I'm already like 3 weeks into my season, and we're in a short season. So if I want to plant from scratch, chances are I won't have anything. I mean, I can plant radish and things like that from seeds, but rather just go at the nursery and buy stuff that's on sale and have a chance to have a few harvests. No cows yet this year. Turkeys come on Monday. Awesome. Lots of chickens and ducks now. We'll have some cows for you next year. Well, you guys need to keep your cows for now, Darren. Well, I know you were talking about selling some at some point, but I guess you would need to have a lot more than that, because you need to have at least one for the freezer, a few breeders, and then if you want to start selling, you're gonna have to have a lot more babies than what you're having now, unless I'm missing something. Yesterday I was able to harvest first handful of honeyberries, which is I know, Darren, you showed a picture of all the honeyberries you were able to harvest. You guys have a lot. I need to propagate my shrubs. Although they're not mature enough yet. I don't have enough. I harvested about 8 berries, brought them at my brother's. He wanted to try them before he decided if he was going to buy some or not. I have no idea if he liked them or not. And then yesterday I went out when I got back from the dentist and I just started harvesting what I had here. And I had like one handful of them. So it's most I've ever had. Usually I get like 4 or 5 berries in a season. Yeah, I'm already picking them, but like I said, I don't have a lot. You have a lot more than me. I'll have maybe like a dozen berry per plant, and I have like 8 plants. And I say a dozen on each plant, but some of them don't have a dozen. Not yet. Don't tempt us with Highlands. Just go ahead, Jack. Just go ahead. Let the temptation take over. Should have 3 babies next year. Cool. 2 pounds already? Wow. I should start having strawberries anytime soon. They're still green at the moment. I didn't see a single one that was starting to change color yet. But the local strawberry U-Pick farm behind my house are opening on Monday. So I'm guessing my strawberries should be ready soon. Work the dog on some cows next year for season 2. Awesome. And yeah, I don't know if you're still going to be filming in the fall, but it'd be nice. I wouldn't mind being on TV. We can do if you can. I just hope you guys have a chance to come moose hunting with you having the rifle in your hands, being able to experience the hunt from Tuesday to Saturday. Well, in an ideal world, you would need to be here for the whole week. We would be able to harvest the moose first day. Last year I was with my dad, and it was the first time we've ever had a moose on the first morning, and it was 15 minutes in, and it was a huge bull. And right at the same spot I missed the first time, Jack. I was in the middle of the cutting. My dad was just down the hill. When we walked to my dad's pond, where he has a block of salt. I mean, from there to the cutting we were hunting in, there's only like maybe 100 meters, 300 feet maybe. So he was walking down there and we could hear him. He could hear me calling the moose. And when I was calling, I knew there were 3 of them coming my way because I could hear them. I knew the bull was coming from that side because I could hear him play with the branches and, grunting and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't know what the other 2 ones were. Figured there'd be a cow and a calf. And when I got up on the log to try to see, they saw me while I couldn't see them, and they just ran away. But they ran straight at my dad. It was just down the hill from us, and he shot the bull. So that was, and the meat was good, right? Did you guys still have some meat left, Jack? I mean, for 600-pound of meat bull, I find that the meat was really tender and really good. Usually it's stiff and hard to chewy, and not this time. It was very, very good. We're out of meat. We don't have any more deer. We don't have any more moose. Well, we might have like a few steaks, but we're just stretching what we have left until the end of the summer, but we don't have enough to eat like we want to. Crucy does gardening and stuff. Good evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. If I cut a piece of red currant, gooseberry, raspberry, blueberry, and a rooting powder on the bottom, then soil put in the shade, will they grow? They could, but if I were you, instead of doing all that, just take the tiny. I don't know if you bought the same pack I did on Amazon. Those root balls. Just take the tiny ones. Just put soil around it, like in the pod, and close it on the branch. Or even if you can just bend the branch, uh, dig a little hole, put some soil, put a rock just to hold it there. Within a month and a half, you should have roots. You don't need. I wouldn't take the chance of cutting a piece. It could work. It should work, but you'll have a lot more success if you just put soil right around the branches. Or yeah, the Ziploc bags. That would work too. Yeah, just take a Ziploc bag, put it around the branch, and wait a few weeks, and you'll have roots, and then you can cut it and transplant it. It's going to be a lot easier that way. Huga Homestead, thank you so much for stopping by. Good evening. Hope all you guys are doing well. It's definitely been pretty good. We have a bit of everything left still. I'd say the cow from the year before was still a notch better, though. Little sweeter, a little more tender. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, in my opinion, for a bull that size, like, it was very, very good. Maybe if you try it with some of the new growth. Yeah, I think that would be the best way to go. Like, take a new growth and then transplant that. It's definitely been good for a bull. Yeah, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I mean, my uncle didn't want to have any. My dad didn't really want to have any. I'm like, I can't take 300 pounds of meat like on my own. So my dad figured, well, my dad split half. Well, he took a third between my brother and himself. So there was like a third for me, and there was that extra third that you guys were able to get. Which, if you're happy, I'm happy, because, you know, it's kind of cool that even though you couldn't come because it was my uncle's license, you ended up with a lot of meat, and you enjoy it and you don't waste it. So that's all cool. We do that method with all our black currants. Fold the branch down into the soil and then cut it next year and plant. Do you like the black currants, Darren? Do you just do jelly with it, or what do you do? Because honestly, I'm thinking about just getting rid of all of them, or just transplanting them somewhere way back on my property, because we don't eat them. I don't know. It tastes like puke for me. I hate the taste. Oh, yeah, we do jams, preserves. Okay. So with jam, it might be better because you can add the sugar and change the taste a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. I didn't sleep well last night, but I'm still good to go. What else did I do? What else is going on? My meat chickens are doing great. I've had them for 3 weeks. I only lost 2, and I'm pretty sure the reason they died is because they were stepped on by all the other chickens. They seem to have been squished on the corner somewhere. I thought I was going to lose some for sure with the heat wave we got, but they ended up, they all survived. They're all doing great. I gave them a lot of water, but I thought that there would still be some danger because of the heat. But no, everything was fine. They're growing. I already have some that are at least 5 pounds of meat. We lost 8 meat chickens to ravens. Odin was upset with me for a bit. He was upset with you because you got mad at him, or just you're saying that because he was upset at you because he didn't want to do his job? Trade someone for some berry plants that you prefer. Even if you offer to trade 2 currants for a single raspberry, blackberry, it'd be worth it if it's something you'd rather eat. Yeah. Are you proposing we do a trade? I got them for free, so really, I don't really mind. Like, if I can have a lot of berries and do some jam with it and it's good, I don't mind. But it's just a matter of it seems that I just get a few berries on each and every on each branch, like on each plant, and it's not enough to do anything with it. If you get some black chickens, it helps keeps birds away from them. Hmm. Oh, okay. The god. You're talking about the god. Odin's ravens. Odin, Thor's father. So you must have been swearing a lot. Didn't shoot the ravens yet. Oh. um, I'm looking at my apple trees are not producing anything this year. I didn't have much flowers on them, but my raspberry patch is doing great. Um, might have to transplant a few ones just because the way they're growing now, they're growing into a big huge circle, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go and harvest the ones in the middle. So I want to do something like what I saw a couple weeks back. Um, I went over to visit someone else's food forest, and you had this little tarp on the ground, and all he did was put like slabs on top just to hold it down to stop ras- sorry the raspberries from growing, and then he was able to contain them in rows because the way I have it now, they're just growing from all the different directions. And I don't mind that they're growing, but I mean, I want to control them somewhat. Where's Loki? He's now the master of all the timelines. My pear trees don't even have leaf. I don't think they made it through the winter, but I had them in the greenhouse. Yeah, I have one of my tree that didn't do anything either, just died. One of them I'm going to have to remove from the ground, and the other one is throwing shoots. So I'm going to let those shoots grow, see which one does better, and just keep the one growing. They're growing on top of the grafted part, so it should be the good pear kind. Came out one morning, and one of the ravens were in the pen with them. One chicken was feathers and legs, and the other was missing its head. Oh no. Tomorrow I finish the garden. No excuse. Yeah, you go ahead, Marilyn. And if I see you in the chat, I will tell you to shut up and go in the garden. I'll be a little bit more polite, but I can be direct. Just kidding. Or am I? Mow brush cut trails through a raspberry patch. Yeah, I want to do that, but I just want to make sure that I can contain it in proper rows. I'm going to take some T-post, plant them in small squares, and make it so that, just put like lines so that the branch don't fall. They'll be able to hold there. Easier to pick the berries. And the kids don't really like going around them because they're usually full of bees. And I've seen a lot of bee nests in the raspberries in the past. So that's why I want to have something like, a good 1.5 feet wide. Put some T-posts, make sure the branches don't fall in the middle so that we can walk through and not be afraid of being stung by bees because we walked in the bee nest. Our fruit trees are doing pretty good this year. We are now doing the Espalier SB with all our fruit trees now. The Espalier SB. What's that? You should come up and explain what that is. Done. Send it in the chat. Espalier. There. There you go. So Darren's going to come up and explain what that is. Hey there.
Oh, what's going down?
Not much, not much.
Cool. Yeah, so our fruit trees are going actually crazy this year. They had a bad year, last year, which I think if everyone knows, kind of looking into it, fruit trees kind of have a year on, a year off, right?
Mhm.
So they'll like 1 year they'll produce good fruit, the next year they'll be like, meh, not so much. So now I've been going in depth into like researching how fruit trees work, the best way to do them, all of that sort of thing. So I found out about this espalier, I believe it's called, something like that, however you want to pronounce it. And it's
Oh, you're cutting off.
basically wiring your tree branches. Oh, it's wiring your tree branches so they go straight out. So the main shoot goes up, and then you take off tree branches so they go straight out. And what that does is allows the tree to actually produce more flowers, which equals more fruit. It's crazy. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but that's kind of the thing.
Well, I think that Jack, um, I'm going to have to remember the name there, from Ren's Homestead, but now they're called Good Timber Farm, made a video this
Yeah,
back about pruning.
we're just going to call them good wood.
Yeah. And he was explaining pretty much the same thing you're explaining now, where he would trim the tree in a way that all the branch would be like flat on the sides
Yep.
instead of going up. Like you would cut all the branches that go up so that the trees, the branches are flat, so they get more sun, they get more rain, they get all, like, everything is hitting them, and they have more space to breathe, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm thinking with if we're doing it here where we are in zone 3A, is that the wires too, once we get them all wired up, is hopefully it'll help support them when they get the snow load too. So it won't drag them down because the wires will actually hold everything in place. That's what I'm hoping. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think you showed us a picture in the chat where you pretty much cut the tree and you have all the branch on the sides.
Yeah, because we were talking to a friend in town who has like a traditional apple orchard, and he said the same thing. You know, you don't want to cut. You want to cut the ones that are going straight up. You want to cut the ones that are going straight down. But he didn't really explain that you want to have everything horizontal. And his trees are not horizontal. They're kind of like, 45-degree angle, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was watching some more YouTube videos, and it's like, and then driving around too, and you start seeing like the new apple orchards that people set up, the new pear orchards, cherry, that sort of thing. And they've all done it. It's like, it almost looks like a vineyard where everything is wired and everything is horizontal. So I'm like, hey, guess what? Guess what we're doing? So that's what we've been working on.
And do you see a difference already, or is it too early to say?
Oh, way too early to say. Like I think the first one I did was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So what we've seen is the ends of the branches, the leaves, the green are actually starting to turn up. So we'll have to kind of, in a little bit, once they get long enough, we'll tie them back down so they continue to go out. But so far they look good. So
awesome. I've seen something like that done with grapevines, but I figured grapes was easier to do because they grow up and then they'll branch out. Um, that's why I want to do with. I have one grape vine right now that's not planted yet. I cut a few of my cedars. I want to put like the hog panel that I had um,
Yep.
up to those cedars. I just left like I cut the branches and I just have like the cedar there. I'm gonna use it as a post and tie up the fencing on it, and hopefully the grapes will grow well on it.
Nice.
That's my goal. I don't know if I'm gonna plant two of them, like one on each, not necessarily on the sides, but like 2/3 in. You know what I mean? And have them growing
Yep.
on the outside. We'll see how that goes. I have a lot of plans, but they usually don't work too well.
Yeah, our grapes, I think we've had them for 4 or 5 years, and last year they actually produced just a few little tiny ones, but they actually produced some. So it was like I was getting really excited, and this year, we've seen the blooms and all that kind of stuff. So we're like, all right, this year should be another good year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can see the little fruits forming, and like you said, they're not bigger than currants would be.
So the interesting thing is, if you go take a look at the grapes, and I think John posted a picture from
John Faulkner.
Maples. What? Yeah. Maple Lily Farms, Homestead. Maple. Anyway, John Faulkner. He posted one, and it looked like little grapes. But we saw the same thing on ours, and it's actually not little grapes. It's actually little buds. And then those pop into little tiny flowers. And then if those get pollinated, then they'll turn into grapes. And I'm like it's the same as apples and cherries and pears and plums and everything else. It's like, yeah, first they have to fruit or flower and then get pollinated, and then they'll go. But it was like weird. I was like, yes, the grapes are going again. And then I went out the next week, and it's like, oh no, they're actually tiny little flowers. It's really neat.
Nice. Well, I have to take a look to see if I get the flowers. I got a few grapes last year. A few, I think they were green grapes. They were actually pretty good, but they were really small. Like I said, about the size of my currants. But I ended up with maybe like a dozen of them. They were actually pretty good. They tasted pretty much the same as the ones you get from the store.
Cool.
I have a few plum trees that are not producing at all. Well, they can take a while to establish. They're still young.
We've had plum and pear trees that are probably 5-6 years old, and they haven't produced a single thing yet. So I'm thinking the plum and the pear just take that much longer versus, say, apples and others.
Yeah, well, it always depends how big you get them when you buy them. If you buy from a local nursery, sometimes they're a little bit older, which is why they sell them a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I got grapes from Canadian Tire hoping to make it. The kiwi tree that I bought at the local nursery at your place didn't make it.
Yeah. It didn't?
No.
Oh, no. We'll have to bring you down one. Yeah, we'll have to bring you down one. Do you remember if it was a male or female?
It was a hybrid. It was both of them.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay. I ended up having a male and a female here from Canadian Tire, and so far they're doing pretty well. Especially the female is doing great. Like the leaves are still all green. The male, I see the tip of the leaves are starting to turn black, but it looks as though it's still going. So we'll see. We'll see in the next spring if they survive or not.
Got. We just got ginkgo biloba.
What?
That name freaks me out. Ginkgo biloba. It's hilarious. So that tree was like around when the dinosaurs were around, It's like one of the oldest trees in existence.
Wow.
And it's pretty neat. So it'll grow like 100 feet high, 40 feet wide, has all these health benefits. It's pretty cool. So I picked one up on last weekend, and we planned one out. I saw another down at the other nursery I took you to, but it was like 20 feet tall already, and they wanted like $200 for it. So I was like, oh, this is a little one. You know, it's not $200. But if you look into those trees, they're pretty epic. They're like being around when the dinosaurs were around. You even look at the leaves, and you look at the leaves and you're like, wow, I haven't seen a leaf like that ever. It's totally different from any leaf you've ever seen. It's pretty cool.
Ginkgo biloba. Asking.
Marilyn, I don't know if we have a male or a female. So the interesting thing when I looked it up, the male, it has tons of pollen. So if you have allergies, the male is not a good one to have. And if you have a female, they drop all this, like a ton of fruit, and it's so stinky. So it's like either you have to deal with tons of pollen or you have to deal with tons of stinky fruit. But they're still pretty cool.
That's good to know.
Yeah, exactly. Eh?
First time I hear that name.
In about 20 years, I think I'll know which one we have.
So let's hope for the best, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure which one I'm actually hoping for. We planted it far away from the house and close to the neighbors, so I'm hoping it's a female and they drop all the stinky fruit.
Hi, Karen. I knew about the stinky thing. I didn't even know what it was. My cherries are growing. Pretty sure I'm going to have cherries soon if the birds don't eat them all. Might have to put like a net on top of them because usually the birds go after my berries.
Yeah, it's crazy because we've been going out every morning to pick our Camarines, our Hascops, honeyberries, and we were going to net them, but we figured, we'll just go out every morning. But the robins and the, I want to say they're cardinals and other stuff are just all over the bushes. So I'd say we're maybe halfway through the harvest. So I'm hoping I can still get a good rest of the harvest off them. But it's like I'm sitting here in my office and all I see is robins continue to attack the bushes. And I'm like, get off it. So,
yeah, like I don't plant trees for the birds. I do it for me.
I know. Exactly. So
I should have some chums this year, which is an hybrid of cherries and plums.
Yep.
I have two trees and they flowered, and I'm pretty sure I started seeing like the little bulb growing. So
nice.
Have that.
Like what kind of cherry? What kind of cherries do you have again?
I have two cherries that I don't know the name. But the ones I was talking about are chums. They're an hybrid of plums and cherries, but I don't know the name.
Okay.
I have some white currants growing, but something's been eating them and they're still green. So I don't know.
Our choke cherries are doing amazing. We should have another just phenomenal harvest off them this year. And we just picked up a dwarf cherry tree. I don't know what kind of cherries. I guess it's like a sweet cherry, but it's a dwarf cherry. And it's, male, female, whatever you call that, neutral, something or other, self-pollinating.
Yeah.
They like to do themselves. So it works for me. So
yeah, we have a lot of choke cherries growing in the wild here. I have some on my dad's land, so I don't really bother with them here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't want to have any. Of course, I would like to have every possible fruit trees I can, but
yeah,
I don't see the need for them because they grow wild all over the place here.
I ordered them when I first moved here, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna plant everything, and I'm like, all right, choke cherries, great, let's plant them. And again, not realizing that I can drive the back roads here, and there's choke cherries everywhere. So, but at least this is nice because if we don't want to go for a drive, if we don't want to go out and pick stuff, we can just go here and grab what we need, and we're good.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of blueberries too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the wild blueberries are crazy. We've got so many of those, but we've been continuing to plant. I guess you'd say the domesticated ones, like they're twice the size of the wild ones.
Yeah.
So this year should have an amazing harvest of those blueberries. We'll see how many we get from that. If it's not too bad, I might go out and continue to harvest the wild ones. We'll see what happens.
Well, you have a very good soil for that. Your soil is probably very acidic, which could be a reason why
Yeah,
you're struggling with other fruit trees. But
yeah.
for blueberries, if you get the ones from the store, they would survive pretty well. Yeah, start
Oh
now.
yeah, we plant the ones from the nursery here, and they just go. Wee!
Yep. Astringent. Never did like them. I use them for making wine.
Exactly. We use them for alcohol as well.
So, yeah, if you start, you won't be able to stop. That's true because the more you get, the more you want. It's like money, right?
Yeah.
It's money. You plant one tree, it might cost you. Well, right now the cost went up. So let's say you buy a fruit tree for $100. Well, it might take a few years, but eventually it'll produce tons of fruits, and you'll save a lot of money on them. What else do I have growing? Probably gonna have some raspberries, strawberries soon. The blueberries, they
Nice.
they seem to be doing better now that I transplanted them behind the house where I have my spruce trees. I'm guessing the soil is more
Yeah.
acidic there.
Good. Yeah.
Um,
I've heard some people even without acidic soil, what they'll do is like grab as a whole ton of pine needles, right?
yeah,
Rake up pine needles from a local forest or something, and then just start spreading them around. I don't know if that does make a difference or not, but I've heard a bunch of people do that.
yeah, but where I have them now, it seems like I don't know the grass is not growing as much. Like
Okay.
there's no the weeds are not spreading, so there's something stopping them from doing well there. So I'm guessing it might be because the soil is a little bit more acidic. I have
Yeah.
some, like I said, the spruce are growing there. I had one of those, what's it called? The trees that loses the pine, the needles in the fall, grows back in.
Malaise.
Yeah, I have one of
I
those three.
forget what it is in English, but it's
Malaise, yeah, in French, that's what it is. I had to cut it down, and all the
just Google
branches.
it, but it's the yellow. It turns yellow.
Yeah, tamarack.
Tamarack. There we go.
Marilyn's got it. She knows everything, that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those ones are awesome too for that's what we built our greenhouse out of because
Okay.
they're awesome for moisture resistant and that kind of stuff. So if you have those, they are great for, building something where that wood is touching the soil.
I wish I would have known about that before I burned the tree. But all the branches fell on the ground, and when I got there this spring to pick it up, all the needles were like all bunched up together. So I just grabbed a few shovels and put that around my blueberries, and they seem to be
Nice.
doing well. Even the wild ones I picked up, they're doing great. I should have some service berries.
Awesome.
The ones I picked up at the cabin are not
Yep.
doing so well. I don't know if they're going to survive or not, but I already had a few ones here, and they're doing pretty well.
Okay.
What else? I have some herbs.
We
I
had a
started.
good laugh because
Sorry, what?
we had a good laugh because we had a good laugh because we went out and we're doing what I said with all the fruit trees, that espalier or whatever, like wiring everything up. And we're looking at the one, and I saw it before in spring, and I was like, this one has white flowers and stuff. And I think I posted it on the message with all of us. And it was like, oh, that's a service berry. I'm like, I don't remember planting a service berry here. We've got like service berry already out the back and that kind of stuff. Why would we plant a service berry in with our cherries and our apples and our plums and pears and that kind of stuff? But then it's like, what? Yep, we've got some sort of service berry here in the middle of our food forest orchard. All right.
All right.
Yep. We'll just
My
go with it.
my elderberries are doing great also. Like, I mean, I'm not going to have any berries, but the trees are starting to grow,
Okay.
which is cool. The wintergreens, are they still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right
They
on.
look like it. Yeah, they look like they're doing pretty good out there. They haven't really expanded or anything like that, but they look like they're still surviving. And I remember Joanne was telling us, like, you know, it takes a few years for them to establish, but once they establish, they kind of go nuts. So
Yeah, they'll go crazy, and especially I know
yeah,
you have the right soil for that because you usually grow around blueberries. So where you have them,
exactly.
they'll do just fine. You don't get a lot of berries on them though, but even just the leaves, they make wonderful, delicious tea.
Yeah, that and for the tea, you just mentioned the tea, and I'm just thinking I really need to harvest my anise hyssop. It's like really growing everywhere. It's ready to go. I think I'm just gonna cut down a whole ton and start drying it, get it ready to go. So
Nice. Yeah, I have to do my chives as well. I have some chives growing like crazy. I want to take
yeah.
all the flowers and do what Annie did, the little vinegar chive flower thing.
Oh, we should do that too. We've got so many bunches of chives. We've got some in the greenhouse, some in the front, some at the side, some in the back. It's like there's chives everywhere.
One of the thing I got growing, a lot of people here. I mean, I'm on a few foraging group on Facebook, and a lot of people were trying to find lamb's quarters.
Okay, yes. Yep.
Those grow all over my property here.
It's
They come from the
again,
compost.
it's a weed. So
Yeah,
yeah.
they're called a weed, but apparently they taste just like spinach.
Yeah, that's just it. There's so many of those like that. It's crazy. You know, the when I started getting into it, we got one of the books here, Backyard Medicine, and it's crazy once you get into it because you're like, wow, like almost every weed I have growing out here has some benefit to it. So the yarrow, the burdock, uh, raspberry, like it's just like, wow, okay, like we can actually just instead of cutting the grass, just go out and start harvesting stuff. It's wild when you actually take a good look at it.
Yeah, there's you start to think about it. You have even dandelion. A lot of people just see
Yep.
dandelion as, oh, it's a flower for bees. But yeah, you can take the leaves and they have the same nutrients as spinach would have. They're very, very
Throw it
rich.
in the salad.
And yeah, I went
Yep.
to
Grab the flowers, grab the leaves.
the roots,
You know,
everything.
it's like it's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
We went to like there was a ski snowshoe activity at some point. Well, it was the year that COVID started. In February because it was actually the last time we were able to get out for a while. And we had this like fancy supper, and the first part of the meal was a salad done out of dandelion leaves.
Wild, eh?
I mean, it was considered fancy, when you
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
like $30 for a meal, and that's what you get to start off with, um, full of protein.
just
Yeah, they go everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Chris and Steph do videos on everything. They have all the knowledge in the world.
Yeah.
I've got tons of garlic chive seeds from my plants. I don't really have any more space to plant them anymore. Drive on the side of the
There's
road
always space.
and throw them everywhere.
You can always find space.
But amongst the best tasting salad or cooked greens. I have a lot growing in my greenhouse, and usually I remove them. But I figured this year, no, I'm just going to let them grow. They're probably the good size now to harvest them, and that's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. Cook a few eggs and eat some salad. Have some lettuce that's doing pretty well, and lamb quarters. I can even get some dandelion leaves, chives, anything like that.
Oh, I love throwing some chives in my omelet. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so good.
yeah. I'm not sure if you'll find anything recently, but Cliff Serpentine was a forage instructor in the Maritime. We met him in Nova Scotia, so I'm not exactly sure where he works now. I took a class by Jessica Gauvin. She speaks English in the region of, I think she's in the Fredericton area, if I'm not mistaken. She was able to give me a pretty good class the whole winter. Like, I mean, she shows you what to look for in a mushroom. If you want to make sure you have the right one, you need to check this. You need to check that. You can take a look at this. The smell, the spores, everything has to do with what kind of mushroom you're trying to identify. And same thing goes with plants. Some plants you might think that they're something specific, and just because of the way that the leaves are underneath, they might be a whole different plant, or maybe the flower that comes out is something different, or the stem might be um, more like a tree instead of more like a plant, and it might be something totally different. But when she teaches you that kind of stuff, you feel more confident because at least you know what to look for in a plant. So I have a lot of stuff when I walk in the woods now. There's a lot of stuff that I can eat that I know how to identify. I'm driving around and I'm like, oh, I can eat this, I can eat that. Oh, this is edible also. Oh, I can eat this too, and I can eat this. Like, there's gallium growing all over my property. That's edible. It grows everywhere, and I'm sure everyone has some on their property. The wood ones, they're pretty old. Snowshoes. You can buy the new type would be around 60, 70, 80 bucks. $25, I'd say it's a good deal.
The disadvantage to the wood snowshoes is they don't have any grip on them. So you don't have any spikes. You don't have I forget what they call it, but it's a little tab in the back. So if you're going up a hill, you can flip that. So you're sitting at a 45-degree angle. However, wood snowshoes still are awesome. I love wood snowshoes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would get them. If they're good quality, yeah. If they're still in good condition. They went in a nursing home and had a yard sale that didn't sell, so I was going to buy them. Dandelion is related to latex, so if you have a latex allergy, it's best to avoid it. Yeah, well, most plants. Yeah, well, I think it'd be more like the when you cut the stem, the little whitish color, like the little white liquid that's coming out. I have a bunch of seeds from wild plants.
There's lots of plants like that. It's edible, but don't eat more than this because otherwise you're screwed. It's like, oh, okay. Or this is edible, but first you have to boil it and then drain the water and then reboil it and then freeze it and then reboil it. And it's like, oh, okay. So is it really edible? It's
Little heads. There's a lot of seeds I have that grow in the wild, and I want to go and plant them on my dad's land. So that way, it's something that's already growing in New Brunswick, so it's not like I'm importing something like invasive or anything, and I'll know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can plant chives anywhere; they'll
Yeah,
grow. I
yeah.
have some chicory, some
And
stinging nettle, things like that.
the cool thing is um, like Chrissy Does Gardening said, if you actually replace your lawn with chives and you put chives everywhere, like we've got chives growing in our food forest, we've got onions growing in the food forest, and we've got so many chives everywhere that we actually cut them when we mow the grass. And it smells amazing when you cut the grass, like Mary Lynn said. But the benefit to that is it actually helps keep the mice and the voles and other stuff away from your fruit trees. So they kind of start staying away from your fruit trees in the winter. So,
Very, very good point. I
yeah.
feel the same. Like I have some mint in the back and some chives in the front, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah. You
take
plant,
over.
you get some mint growing in the lawn. You get some of the creeping thyme as well growing in the lawn. Get some chives growing in there. And then cutting the grass is like a whole new experience.
Well, some people just want to have like they want to have the perfect lawn. They want to mow the lawn. Like the neighbor last year that came over to complain of my son. He was 15. It's hard enough to get the kids now to help around the house. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
willing to do it, and you come over here complaining that he stepped about 2 feet on your side, mowing the lawn a little bit too short from what you like. Okay,
Really?
like, yeah. She's like, oh, it's gonna
Oh,
burn the grass, blah blah blah. It's gonna grow back. It's lawn. Like, I don't want to have lawn. I want to have food. And I'm
yeah.
sorry, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna grow mint and chives, and if it grows on your property,
Yep.
you're gonna have to deal with it because I'm not
Don't
gonna stop growing
don't
food on
like
my.
dandelions. Guess what?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the mowing the lawn would smell different if you had a lot of those
Yep,
chives and
exactly.
mints all over the place, for
Yep.
sure. Had it and Spike to the snowshoes. Maybe it would smell like an Italian restaurant when mowing the lawn. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and I have the for some reason the mint is taking a long time to grow in the spring. Feels like all the
For me,
grass is growing.
the mint takes a while, just because of our zone. But for us, it's the sage. The sage just takes its time. Like
Yeah.
takes its time. Oh, the time usually that actually doesn't survive, but the sage does take its sweet time growing. It it's one of those ones that it does come back year after year, but it's so slow. But the time itself, we've never had it survive outside. Same with the rosemary and that.
I have some sage. Well, I planted some last year, and now that you mentioned that, I'm trying to find it in my containers, and I can't. In my raised
Yeah,
beds, and I can't. It could still be in there somewhere.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and people are
Sweetgrass
nitpicking.
is so sweetgrass, lemongrass. Love growing that too. Yeah.
Yeah, lemon balm. Like when you like, if I had to mow the lawn and it was lemon balm all over the place, I'd be happy.
All right. Yeah.
And yeah, people are nitpicky about their lawns for no reason. I mean, when you imagine you're on your dead bed, about to die, do you really think people are going to remember the lawn you have? Oh, that person had the perfect lawn. No, they don't care about that stuff. They don't care how your lawn looks like. They'll remember, hey, that guy was smart enough to grow his own food for a year. That's what they're going to
Conversation at
remember that.
the cottage. I can't remember if we had that conversation before at the cottage or not, but driving around and you see someone has got like an acre of grass at the side of their property and it's all nicely mowed and all like looked after. I'm like, that used to be okay for me when I was working at the golf course. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm making stripes. I'm making it nice. I'm going to go out there and level it with the sand and overseed and that sort of stuff. Now it's like, dude, like, do you know how many apple trees and pear trees and raised beds and stuff that would fit right there? It's like, what is going on?
I told them the same thing at the hospital. There's like this big, huge field about the size of maybe 2 soccer fields,
Yeah,
and it's just grass. And they're paying people to mow the lawn there.
right.
Why don't
Yeah,
you like you're in a hospital? You're supposed to promote health. You're
yeah.
supposed to promote good food. Just plant a bunch of fruit trees. Oh well, we don't want to have to pick them up when they fall on the ground. Who gives a shit? Let them fall on the ground. I mean, if you plant a bunch of gooseberries, even if they fall on the ground, like what gives?
What's gonna happen though is you're gonna have someone walk out there who's allergic to bees. They're gonna get stung. They're gonna come running back into the hospital. They're puffing up, and they're like, everyone on the staff goes, "Oh my God, look what just happened! This is the reason why we didn't want it." Ah!
Yeah, right. Any excuse is good for them, I guess. It's doing better here. Okay. I haven't even cut my grass yet this year. I figure at the current gas price, I saved about $1,200. Yeah, exactly. I mow the lawn in front of the
We
house
are cutting
because
our grass.
what?
We are cutting our grass now. We used to have a ride-on lawnmower a few years ago because of the size of our property, and we sold that. And then we were boring Bridget's sister. Now we have our own that was used and refurbished. But now what we do is we go out and we cut certain sections, and we take that and we feed it to the cows. So it's like our lawn doesn't even get cut all at the same time. We go out and we'll cut a patch, feed it to the cows. 2 days later, 3 days later, we go cut another patch, feed it to the cows. It's like if I turn the camera around, it would be like, actually, let me see if I can do that right now. I'll show you kind of. There's oh, there we go. Look at that.
Flowers.
That is meadow stage. But yeah, it's like that's perfect for the cows right now. So I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Well, sometimes I catch neighbors speaking over the fence, highballing garlic that I'm growing. The same neighbor decided to start growing some vegetable this year. That's good. People are starting to get more interest in growing their own food because everything is getting so expensive. A pack of seeds is still a lot cheaper than growing your own, like than buying at the grocery store.
We
Even
thought things
community
would be
garden,
better by now, but it's not. It's only gotten worse.
yeah, and it's not going to get better. Not now.
Not for a while.
Yeah. So the more money you can save by growing your own food, the better it is. There were 30 people applying for an aisle, the community garden this year. They had to refuse people.
Oh wow.
There's usually like a dozen. There were 30 this year, and we're in a small village, about 2,000 people. So if there's 30 people that want to grow a garden, that's pretty cool.
That's good, but it's also bad that you have to refuse.
Yeah, they're gonna expand for next year, though. He already said it. Like he needs to work the land a little bit more in the fall. But
Okay.
he'll have something ready for next spring.
Nice.
Today, my neighbor and I put together my new 4x6 aluminum chicken tractor. Nice. I lost 50%. Oh no. Glad they're safe now.
Ah,
50% of the birds kind of
yeah,
suck.
it does. It hurts. Especially once you start raising them and feeding them and you put all that time and energy and work and everything into them, and then lose them, it just is painful.
Mm-hmm. If you lose them as chicks, it's not as bad because you didn't have
Yeah,
to put all the money and effort.
yeah,
Last year, out of 40, I lost one.
nice.
So even if I
That's
do all the numbers mathematically, I mean, I was still doing a pretty good deal with them.
yeah. We always find that doing the meat chickens and the pigs always make us money, no matter like you have to kind of lose a lot of meat chickens not to make it worthwhile. And pigs, we've never lost one, so it's always been a good deal for us.
Yeah, because you get pork at the store. Okay, you might get pork chops on sale at $2-3 a pound, but they're just pork chops. You can get a whole pig if you do it yourself, especially if you can butcher it yourself. You'll get the pork meat at about that price, not just on sale, but right off the back. And you get the bacon, you get the burger, you get the roast, you get all that kind of stuff. So you get all the best meat at the best price. You're frozen. I don't know if you're still there. I'm guessing I'm gonna lose you. Same with chickens. This year I purchased 50. I am down to 48. But at the price that I pay for them, the feed, they eat like crazy. Um, I'll just take you out, Darren. If you come back, I'll put you back on. You're frozen right now. Um, Even if I lost 10 of them, I would still end up making money on them because, um, you get. I'm gonna buy about $300 worth of feed by the time I'm done for 50 chickens, which would be about $200 for the chickens. So give or take $500 worth of chickens that I pay total. Um, and I'll have, well, right now I have 48 chickens left, but they're all over 5 pounds. So if you do the math, even if I had 40 chickens, left after I'm done, um, at 5 pounds each, that's 200 pounds. That would be about $500. So $2.50 per pound, which is still better than what you get at the store. At the store, I've seen $13.99 for 3 pounds chicken. That's crazy. Well, the snowshoes. Yeah, use them to smash the grass down. That would work. I don't at the moment. We're working on it because Serge wants to have some too. Thing is, I can't grow them at home, and it's getting very expensive. I mean, 50 is pretty much until I get a raise at work. This is pretty much the max I can get because they go through 5 bags every second week, and it's $25 a bag. So it's $125, $130 a bag of feed every paycheck, which is I still have to take care of my turkeys, my rabbits, and my layers as well. Can you feed meat bird comfrey as supplement to their feed? I don't know. That's a good question. It's a very good question. I wouldn't know. I know you can give some to the rabbits, but they say not to give too much. So I kind of give them like half a. Darren's internet is not working too well. That's fine, Darren. I give them like half a leaf to my rabbits, like maybe once a week, once a month. There's a grocery store near me that's trying to sell a package of 3 romaine lettuce for $68. When I saw that price, I was like, nope. Yeah, it shouldn't be more than $1 for a huge head. Like, I mean, that's insane. And it's so easy to grow. Going to see if all the chicks are all right and going to bed after. Have a great night and weekend, everyone. Thank you, Marilyn. Um, I will try not to talk to you tomorrow. If I do, it's to push you to go finish the garden. Keep an eye on anyone giving away a working trailer, especially cheap. Need one to build my coop on so I can move it easily. I may not get one built in time, but hopeful I have the land but need supplies. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what would be. I was trying to work on one on a chicken tractor, but not with wheels, and I didn't have anything underneath. What you can do, if you can find someone with like old dog cages, you can put those cages on the ground and put like 2, 3 chickens in a cage and drag that around. The animals can't get in, they can't get out. You just need to put like a tarp on top to hide them from the sun and the rain. Sometimes you can get those cages for very cheap at yard sales or whatever. Marketplace also sometimes. It might not be the best thing. It might not be able to put 100 chickens in there, but if you can put 3 chickens, that's 3 chickens that you can actually get for very cheap. Chickens, though, will get about 20% of their diet through grass, while turkeys, they can do up to 50%. So turkeys, if you can give them grass clippings, I mean, they're going to enjoy it and they're going to do great. Well, I've been on for about an hour and a half. Might have to go take some Tylenol. Well, I can't say my teeth. Well, there was a teeth there. It's gone. My jaw is starting to hurt a little bit. Plus, hopefully, I'll be able to sleep tonight. I should be on Sunday morning. I wasn't even supposed to be here today. I thought we were going to start playing ball. The league only starts next Friday, I guess. So next Friday, I might not be here. I'll try to figure out something if I can do it on Wednesday or if I have to keep on going on Sunday mornings. We'll see. I need to build a coop on a trailer. I have weasels and stuff. Won't feel safe unless I have a secure coop and a fully fenced run. I have some fencing, but need a trailer in the wood. Yeah. And weasels can go through anything, basically. All right. I will leave you with some music. Take care, everyone.